Today I want to talk about the transfiguration. Now that is a huge word, but it basically means like transformation, changing to something elevating, something different than what you would normally see. This is found in the book of Mark, chapter 9, verses 1 through 13. Now, Jesus spent a lot of time with different disciples, and 3 disciples he took up on a mountain with him during this time: Peter, James, and John. And as they were up on the mountain, all of a sudden, Jesus started shining so bright. He started to transfigure into something different. He was so bright, his face was shining so bright, his clothes were glimmering and dazzling. It was so bright that it was almost blinding to Peter, James, and John. And they were so amazed at this, and they realized how powerful God was and that he was God. They fell to the ground because of how in awe they were. And just as suddenly as that happened, all of a sudden, Moses and Elijah just showed up out of nowhere. They were right there with him. And they came down on this cloud and they heard this booming, loud voice that they knew was God. And he said, "This is my beloved son. Listen to him." And they knew without a doubt, at that point, they were in the presence of God. And they connected that Jesus was God's son. Now, they got just a tiny glimpse of the power of God. Now, if they were to see the entire power of God in their life, they wouldn't even be able to stay alive because it's just so powerful. So they only got a little tiny glimmer in that. And it was so powerful and so bright that they fell to the ground. Just imagine how much more powerful than even that God is. And to me, that's really encouraging to know that this powerful God, more powerful than anything we could ever imagine, is in charge. And he calls us to be his children. That is amazing. Now, one thing that you can do this week to kind of help you remember how powerful God is and help you take courage in knowing that he is with us no matter what, he has power over all things. You can look at a light bulb. Now, when we look at this light bulb, and it's not lit, obviously, it's not in a lamp. It's just a normal light bulb. I can sit there, I can stare at it as long as I want. Might get a little bored, but it's not gonna hurt my eyes. But if I were to screw this into a lamp, plug it into the wall without a lampshade over it, it would be really bright. Now, I don't want you to try this and stare at a light bulb for too long because you're gonna hurt your eyes. But try it for just a few seconds. Look at the light bulb without it on. Have your parents help you. Take the lampshade off so you can see just the bulb and turn it on while you're looking at it. Don't stare at it too long again because I don't want you to hurt your eyes. But you'll notice it's kind of harder to look at because it's so bright. And that's just a tiny little glimpse of God's power when you see that. It's not very bright, but it's still really bright. You can't stare at it forever. That was how amazing it was for Peter, James, and John. But it was just so powerful, so amazing. Whenever you look at these light bulbs, whenever you look at it or turn on any light in your house all week, help you with that. Remember that that is connecting with the power of God. Think about how powerful God is every time you turn a light on. It says he is the light of the world. That is really amazing. So when there's light, there can't be darkness. Anytime you're in a pitch black room, even if you just turn on one light, the darkness is gone. So today and all throughout the week, anytime you turn on a light, remember, God is all powerful and he calls you to be his children.